Yes, I do want to start streaming a live event. Let's see if this actually. Oh my goodness! And just as I pushed live, I got all these messages from my wife saying, "Wish you were here." So yeah, I'm taking care of the kids. Amy had some stuff to do. Let's hope this actually works because I am doing a bunch of Interstellar stuff. We are floating around in the sky, and it looks like I'm just trying to verify that my status is behaving. It says I'm live, but I don't see it live here. I'm still confused. Just bear with me as I figure this thing out because YouTube. Oh, wait a second, yeah, it's doing something.
I'm taking care of the kids. Amy has
it is actually live, and now we have Streamception. Sweet. Okay. And I have no idea how far this is lagging behind, so if you just give me a second as I figure this out. We gotta have a commercial here for Jeep President's Day. Apparently, that's what Woody Guthrie would like. Oh, I'm hearing myself. Oh my god, it's like technology. Technology. Okay, so yeah, you guys are going to be lagging, and I'm going to have to figure out where I can see my chat. Oh, yes, here we go, I can actually watch my comments here, but I can read the comments, but I can't see the comments back. I am live, and I've got to figure out, I think, what I've already been doing, is we have had several encounters and everything. I've returned spacecraft to Kerbin, but I do have to, I do have the moon of Tylo to land on. It's zoomed in a little bit, not very much, right? And yeah, they have about a minute behind, and there is not a way to fix it, and I totally understand the technical problems behind it, and still getting messages from my wife. So this is the Interplanetary Lab. It is on its way to Tylo. That is why the frame rate is so gosh darn awful, right? Your anus is bleeding? That is not pretty. Oh, apparently my electric charge has been depleted. That's not a good sign, since I should have tons of electric charge here. I'm going to have to run at 10... Oh, wow, what the heck kind of orbit is that? Wait a second. I think there's a problem. That is not an orbit that makes sense to me. I'm not sure what is causing that, but it does ultimately collide with the planet. I will need to make some adjustments. Yes, I can see this ox box. You're a pox or from the ox, but not the kind of ox that pulls a plough, right? You're the different kind of ox, like as in SCE to ox. Merlin van der Veen, is that how I say your name? Zeeraz, Dragon Killer, even Verkoven. God, you guys are all in Europe. Is that what's going on? You guys all sound like you're from the Netherlands, I have to say. James Lee, of course, I would presume I'd know how to say your name unless your name is James Lee, right? In which case, obviously, I don't know how to say your name. These things are, of course, unknowable by me. The pronunciation is a very complicated set of rules. This is why cell phones have terrible text-to-speech and everything, right? There's Tylo there. Once again, getting closer and closer and closer. We have about 1 day until we get to our maneuver node, and we're going to make some small correction to make sure we don't crash into it. As you may know, the spacecraft turns at roughly the same rate as a piece of spaghetti floating in space. It really doesn't have the most powerful control system, let's say. Fancy trick orbit. Hardly a fancy trick orbit. It's a kind of lame orbit. 7, 6, 5, 4. I'm live. I'm live because I've had obviously a very busy few weeks. I went to see the live rocket launch at Vandenberg, which I have to say, I think Vandenberg is pretty awesome because it's like a military base. Cape Canaveral, Kennedy Space Center. Not quite as they're kind of different. I don't know. How are you meeting me in the flesh? You're Guts the 100 Men Slayer. You're not going to slay many people if you have that kind of attitude. Okay, let's figure out what's going to happen. We still have this very crazy orbit here. I'm not sure what to do about that. Oh, pardon me. Oh, apparently I'm a little sniffly there. Okay, so what it says is we're going to come within 4,000 kilometers. So you know what? I think I'm just going to keep this, right? I'm going to hit F5 just in case. You don't... You're right, the resolution is kind of weird. Let me do something about this. Can I just adjust this? Properties... You see, we've got this. Entire refresh. Refresh? No. Entire window. Oh, you know what? Maybe... Hold on. Maybe there's a problem here. I'm just gonna make some adjustment. Edit scene. Ah, that's the problem. Shit. Some craziness is going on here. How do I do this? Does anyone know how to use how fit, project, preview, scale to fit mode, position size, fit to screen? No, it. Oh yeah, there it is. Yeah, you can't see the nav ball because it's off the bottom. That's why. There we go. There we go. Yes, obviously highly technical, well understood streaming kind of thing. Any advice to young aspiring engineers is to do engineering, right? What makes you an engineer is doing engineering. Never stop doing it. The chat is lagging behind, or rather the chat is coming ahead. I think this is the most interesting orbit I've ever seen from this. I'm not sure... I don't know what is going on there, but it looks to me like it has some sort of gravity assist, and then perhaps it says it doesn't escape, but I'm not sure that's really gonna happen. Well, we're gonna find out. I guess I can just go to exterior and watch this happen. I should probably slow this down a bit because where's Tylo? Where's Tylo? There it is there, right? So as soon as we see the nav ball jump, we have to let the slow things down, let's say. So I've got a laptop over here on my left, which is going to be the main place that I see the actual text from. So it's kind of hard to keep track of everything. Okay, so that's running at 1,000 times regular speed. Is it, you know what? Oxpox, are you the guy that's really slowing things down? Okay. Who's seeing... Oh yeah, 9 frames per second. Yeah, you're seeing a Bandicam in the top left there is telling us how slow this darn thing is. And we are getting very close. Oh, okay. And now I just realized that this laptop... Wait a second. I should play through Half-Life 2. I absolutely should play through Half-Life 2. It is one of my favorite games ever, and... especially because it's one of the few games that has a physicist as the main character. How many games can have physicists as the main character? I mean, I think there's more games with janitors as their main character than there are physicists, but I could be wrong. Zayad Az, I read this. Tylo doesn't follow your rules, man. Yeah. We're still going around. Okay, maybe we can go a little faster. It does seem to be incredibly slow. Bandicam, well, what happened was the version of Fraps I had just started dying with... Why are we slowing down time all the time? Are we running out of power or something? I think... Oh, time to pay attention to deep space. Whatever. I don't care about that. Close the alarm. Deep Space Ship was going to do the... It was going to do the Deep Space Telescope for science, but as it's happened, if I just leave it there, it'll just keep going. It's very hard to put a meaningful face cam in the space of the Kerbal window, trust me. Okay, we're coming in. Getting very close here. So how is everybody's week? Anything awesome happening to anybody out there? Are people excited for Sunday for the Discover launch? I have seen Freeman's Mind. Are people excited for the Discover launch on Sunday, I believe? And moreover, the chances of SpaceX coming in and landing their spacecraft. I'm going to record it and probably edit it if anything interesting happened, but we'll not know. Voyager has me hyped. What? Oh, MDK has a janitor. Yeah, and Viscera cleanup detail, and of course the Space Quest series of games. There we go. Okay. That is probably why the orbit is so bizarre. So I'm going to add a maneuver here to perform the capture. There we go. So that'll put me into a reasonable orbit here. And so that's where we are. And now I'm going to have to turn this whole spacecraft. And this is very fun. Because watch me try to turn the spacecraft. Ever so slowly. This is why, I mean, really, it's going to be taking a really long time. I am really excited, not just for New Horizons, but Dawn and yeah, you know, Ceres. Have you seen the new pictures of it? You can see some like legit craters and stuff on the surface now. We might figure out what the real white spot is. I don't know what you've been thinking, but I think the white spot could in fact be an alien base, honestly. No, actually, the white spot is where Neil Armstrong really went when they were hoaxing the moon landings. No, it's probably a crater. A crater that has exposed some light white stuff. Yeah, I'm just trying to turn this spacecraft here. Have I finished Besiege? I have actually... I was thinking of playing that tonight, but then I decided that I wanted to actually take the advantage of doing the live stream. Okay, so Nathaniel, basically the money for the Europa mission is a proposal in the budget that's submitted by the president. Now, how it works is the president submits this budget suggestion to Congress, and then Congress says, we don't like you, we're going to do our own thing. So, for example, the budget has given more money to planetary science, but it's cut some money from the Space Launch System, you know, this ginormous rocket which we may not actually need. But it would be awesome all the same. So what's going to happen is, of course, you know, Congress is going to do their own thing. And for example, the space mission I went to see, the soil moisture, you know, global mapping of water in the soil. That was one of those things that's an Earth science mission. And as we know, a certain individual that's in charge of the committee and all this doesn't like Earth science missions, mostly because of inconvenient political data they produce. I am turning it. No, like, look at it bend. Look at it bend. You want it to break? The last time I did a live stream with this ridiculously long spacecraft, it broke up, remember? And then we had to invent a whole story about why this thing bent. Yeah, we should... trading an elite. Yes, I want more reasons to fight. And more reasons to trade. I want more reasons for everything. Okay. Hey, you subbed to my channel. Good. Great. Congratulations. And you probably saw this. What are the two large flat objects? These flat things here. So this was a very stupid idea. I thought, I'm going to have a drive section here, which has like the nuclear drive. It has an antimatter-induced fusion reactor. It has a bunch of fuel. And then I thought, well, this is going to be the habitation section, so I wanted to have like a radiation shield. So I built a whole thing to launch this up and unfold it. It's a little ridiculous, but hey, you know. I would love to play through Freelancer. I think people aren't really watching it once again. Best of your knowledge, can Citizen done to NASA directly? Shujin Tribble, I'm not sure what you're meaning by that question. No, can citizens donate to NASA directly? You know, here's the thing. I don't think so. Yeah, the whole NASA budget thing is always a mess, especially considering the value that it gives us, I think. Yeah, funny story. You know, the spacecraft that is going to be launched by Falcon, by SpaceX on Sunday. This was a spacecraft that was originally designed in the late 1990s, and it was going to perform, you know, solar science, but it was also going to have a camera that looked at the Earth all the time and collected albedo data and temperature data and things like that. And as soon as presidents changed, as soon as George Bush got elected, that whole thing was shut down, and this completed satellite, which was ready to launch, was put off in a warehouse. And it wasn't until a few years ago, after, again, presidents changed, that it got pulled out of the warehouse and refurbished and actually is going to be launched on Sunday. Also, interesting fact was that Discover, originally called Triana, was scheduled to launch on STS-107, which was the Columbia's last mission, the mission that it broke up in. Obviously, the satellite, if it had been on that mission, it would have still got into space because it broke up in re-entry. But yeah, interesting story that Discover has. Yeah, I would say if you really want to donate to cool space science, find something like Sentinel. I'm a big fan of Sentinel because, you know what, I think that it's actually something that citizens can actually do something about. And I'm not wanting to have the world get, seriously damaged by a killer asteroid. That's really what it is. Philip, on the Patreon front, if you look on my channel, it is actually possible to donate to my channel directly there. There's a support this channel link. I'm just trying to figure out how to actually let people give me suggestions on how to make this. This thing is turning so slowly. Yes, I just don't want it to break. He's talking, well. So, just while we're waiting for this to turn, I can show you the unofficial patches I picked up. It's like hitting a bullet with a, it's like hitting a bullet with a smaller bullet while riding a horse. This is, Team ISIS. You know, sunlight is magic. Yes, that is a pony. 30th Space Wing, Minutemen, putting things up, putting them down. Or lifting things up and putting them down. This spacecraft is turning so slowly, but if I turn it any faster, it will no doubt break up. You can see how flexible this whole thing is. Oh, you're French. I like French, especially like French food. Okay, so we have Falcon 9, the rootinest, tootinest, shootinest Falcon in the West. 9 rockets on it, putting up Cassiope. And NROL 35, the 30th Space Wing internal version, the Eye of Sauron, where the silhouette, if you look very carefully, is the outline of an Atlas rocket. So, I very much doubt that they get money for that. I'm pretty sure that this isn't even an official patch. This is like an internal thing that they produce. Look at this thing flexing around. This is awful. This will be recorded and posted to the internet. In fact, it's probably going to be incredibly boring because it is going to involve me turning this thing to point in the right direction and then making sure that it actually gets into orbit. So, oh, morning from Norway. Goodness. Oh, and the Czech Republic. Hello. Man, it's so glad to see everyone from all over the world here because I think it's great. No, there's already too much, there's too much torque. It literally will tear itself apart if I turn this thing too hard. Yes, it's not that I'm not pushing. If I push it too hard, it will literally tear itself apart. I don't know where you can get these badges from. I honestly don't know. Oh, 7:30 a.m. in Kent? Oh, yes, I was in Kent. I have relatives there. You're from Mars. Would that be Mars, Texas? Or whatever? Is there a Mars in Texas? Oh, Oxpox, you're from Hell. Is that Hell, Michigan? Oh, no, okay. Because there is actually a Hell in Michigan, and I think given the weather right now, Hell has in fact frozen over. I could be wrong on that. Okay, now this thing is turning. You see, isn't it good? Isn't it good that I'm here talking because Otherwise, I would just have to time accelerate this thing forever to make this thing turn. It's not that I don't have the force. I have plenty of RCS here. The problem is, if I do this, it will probably break the spacecraft. But you see, I'm getting pretty close. Yeah, no, that would be the best way to do it. Undock and then reattach. No, it's on its way to Tylo. I've heard of Sitting Burn. Actually, it sounds like a thing. I am super excited for No Man's Sky. I kind of wish I secretly want the developers to, like, you know, say, hey, here's a press copy. Because I have a PlayStation 4 now. And I also have, obviously, a PC. YouTube has had live streaming for years. And since Twitch deleted all my stuff, I'm not that interested in coming back to Twitch. No, look at the amount of struts I have on this thing, right? This thing still flexes with all those struts. It's just the nature of the beast. SCE to Ox. Oh, Alabama! I have friends from Alabama. Huntsville, Alabama, of course, is... oh, Ireland! Ireland! Yes. Love Ireland. I spent so many years there. It's one of my favourite places. And I'd love to go back. Oh, Goddo's here! That's great! We've been waiting for Goddo for a while. Budum tish. Right, okay. That's close enough. I don't care. We're just going to get this thing into orbit. I don't care about the inclination. Time accelerate! Okay, not too fast. This is the thing. It would be terrible to, like, overshoot, right? Yeah, I might do freelancer, but honestly, I just wanna. You almost shut down your computer by accident. Little Rock, Arkansas. Hey, California. Excellent. So wait, California, is that NoCal or SoCal? Because, you know, there's NoCal and there's SoCal, and I'm so NoCal. Yeah, I know, it's a terrible thing to say. It's like an LA San Francisco thing. Okay. What could be done if we could make super big spacecraft in yes, it is. We could make super big spacecraft in Kerbal Space Program. That's it. This thing has to get into orbit around Tylo. 3 hours we got here. What do I think of Elite Dangerous? I think that Elite Dangerous, when you're playing it, is amazingly immersive, but it is kind of very shallow at this time. And at the same time, EVE Online was very shallow in the same way that Elite is. I really hope that they can do what, you know, EVE Online ultimately did and add a huge, compelling universe. It took EVE, you know, over a decade to really get to its current level of amazingness. And of course, that's very hard for a lot of people to appreciate, because a lot of people don't really think of EVE as the most amazing space game. But it is, you know, it's the only game that still makes me, like, you know, get super heart rate elevated and everything when I'm trying to in combat or anything. Okay, throttle up. We are go for throttle up. Okay, so this is going to be sitting here for a while. Why is everyone saying 1, 2, 3? Did I miss something? What's with the 1, 2, 3? I now got to scroll back. Okay. You're Central Coast. Oh, Central Coast. That's near Vandenberg, huh? I like a. I have to say I like the place where I went. I went to Pismo Beach, oddly enough. So Gary, the way you do it, you have to make sure that you have the upgraded reactors, right, to fit the 2.5 meter reactor. You have to make sure you do it. The generator has to run in thermal mode rather than direct conversion mode, and then that should work. Okay, so time to periaps. Inclination. Oh, you know what? We've already got captured, right? Hold on. Look at that. We're already captured. Sweet. We're heading down towards the surface. When I say Scott, you say Manly. Yes. Did you see the road to Mars? You know, listen, I'm all about for going to Mars, right? I think it's really important that the human race continues to stretch. I mean, you know, I've kind of said this before, that space is huge and epic and amazing, right? But you don't really appreciate just how epic and huge space is until you realize, until you go and see a rocket launch and you realize how epic and huge and amazing a rocket launch is, but how that rocket launch barely gets anywhere. It's barely scratching the surface of deep space. You know, the human race should be putting far more energy into moving into space. It's just, you know, this is the destiny of our species. We're not destined to stay on this one planet. We're destined to go out and go further afield, to, you know, to spread by whatever means necessary. Maybe we can't travel interstellar. Maybe we figure out how to upload our brains to computers, but that will just be an evolution of the human race. Yeah, and the moment we deny that, the moment we deny, you know, what it means to be human. The Deep Space Hangouts used to happen on Tuesday nights when Amy had like a class, and then the class stopped happening, and so I wasn't able to keep doing them. I really like the Deep Space Hangouts, but I can't get a regular time slot. That's been my big problem right now. Okay. Yes, people are afraid of space because it's full of nothing. So, okay, so anyone watch the Super Bowl? I'm curious as to if anybody not in the US watched the Super Bowl. Because, you know, obviously it's a big thing over here, right? I have played the game DEF CON. I have also gone to DEF CON, the conference, several times. It's a hacker convention in Las Vegas. Nothing to do with nuclear weapons, hopefully, because if a hacker convention gets involved with nuclear weapons, that's just a really bad thing. No, DEF CON is, yeah, game DEF CON. I got it in the Humble Bundle and I've played it several times. That's not like any Vortex I've ever seen. Given complete control of a space agency, the mission I would set up would be Sentinel. It's just so blindingly obvious that we need to do this, right? We need to catalog all the asteroids, and they're not gonna like just avoid hitting the planet Earth just because we haven't got haven't found them. They're gonna come regardless. So, yeah. That's what we need to do. I have Uplink as well. I've played that a bit. It's obviously not like real computer security, and I'll have to say that, you know, my days of being deep into computer security are long past me. I just don't have the time to kind of sit on the bleeding edge all of it anymore. I'm not going to be hacking anyone's Gibson. I still write good code, but I do. I'm I'm a software developer rather than a hacker these days. Oh, well, I have to say I love rugby as well. I used to play rugby when I was like 10 years old. I was utterly terrible at it because I just didn't understand how to tackle people without fouling them and injuring them. Yeah, I was really terrible at rugby, but I do like rugby, and I wish I could see more of it on the TV in the US. And I especially love the All Blacks because I love watching their whole intro doing the haka and everything. That's just, you know, that's one of the best things in any sporting event ever. Build a space vacuum cleaner. Actually, Jupiter isn't really a space vacuum cleaner. What languages do I know? So somebody asked, Chris Frost asked me what languages I know. So I regularly use C and C++, obviously, right? And many people conflate those two, but there's a lot of differences. I've used C# extensively, and I also regularly use Perl. I use Python for a lot of things. I know Java, but I don't use it. Previously, I guess I've used a bunch of Fortran, Shell Script, Tickle, TK. Yeah, that's mainly what I use. I'm not sure if there's anything more. Oh, Lisp, obviously. You gotta learn that stuff. 1, 2, 3. I'm alive. I'm alive. I'm waiting here. I'm live. Okay, I have no idea what that luminescent contrail is. Is there any sound coming out of this, by the way? It's really hard. I guess I can just about hear it here. Oh, there's the engine. Yes. Okay, nobody gives an F. Yes. Ooh! Zaydas! Oh, somebody's speaking in Arabic. No, wait, is that that's Persian, isn't it? That's Farsi, not Arabic. Zayad, you gotta confirm, is that Arabic or Farsi? Because there's a difference. I'm not very good at solving. Oh, MySQL isn't really a language, but yeah, okay, I'll totally give you MySQL. I did a lot of SQL. I use VI regularly. I don't use IDE, so I don't have any of those fancy tools that people use to help them track functions and things like that. I am very excited for the New Horizons mission. Wait. I'm confused. Ziyad. I'm just looking at the fonts, and it's hard to tell. Okay, it is Arabic. Okay. It's important, because, you know, Arabic and Farsi are actually slightly different. I believe the Persian alphabet contains more letters, so it's actually quite easy to tell them apart. I could be wrong on that, so don't quote me on it, and especially don't quote me on my Arabic, since I can't say anything. Most Arabic I know is actually the anglicized translations of all the names of the stars, things like Aldebaran and things like that. Most of the stars in the sky are actually were named by Arab astronomers, right? And they were named things such as the ankle of Hercules or whatever. That name was then literally translated to like Latin text and English by people that didn't really know how to speak Arabic. So that's where we get all the names of the stars from. Almost all of the names of the stars in the night sky. There's a couple of exceptions, like Sirius, I believe, goes back to the original Greek. But Betelgeuse, Rigel, Aldebaran, all these names, Algol, they're all named derived from Arabic terms by people that didn't actually speak Arabic. Funny what lack of knowledge brings us. Look, I've almost got a circular orbit. What I think I'm gonna do is, rather than try to circularize this orbit, I'm just gonna make it get super low over Tylo, and then I'll detach and land this thing. What? Do not ruin. Don't stay up for this. Ask me your question now. I will answer it, and then you can get to sleep. Right? I don't want people staying up late for this terribleness, because this is just going to be me like doing maneuvers really slowly, like flying a wet noodle. Sorry, I don't love you, because the only person I love really is my wife, and I guess obviously my kids I love in a platonic way, right? We're just trying to land on Tylo. Ludicrous. This is the complete opposite of ludicrous speed. Have you seen how slow this thing accelerates? Hopefully we will get this thing down, and we'll be able to then return to it. This will be like a major thing, because after this we'll only have 2 bodies in the Kerbal system we haven't successfully landed on. One will be Paul. We haven't put a probe on Paul, and we haven't put anyone on Elo. And you can see in my Kerbal alarm clock in the bottom left, I do have spacecraft there. I can't commit to a loving relationship on the level of a YouTube chat. Obviously I love you all as brothers and sisters in this great world of humans and all that kind of hippy dippy stuff. But yeah. Land on the sun instead. Landing on the sun is easy, right? Oh wait, no, but never mind. How did my first moon landing go? My first moon landing, if you remember my first moon landing attempt, I put on YouTube, and I brought the whole rocket down and crashed and left with the probe body survived, and at that point I did my best Richard Nixon impersonation. Do I play instruments? I'm a DJ, but I also play the guitar poorly and the ukulele occasionally. Can all the other planets fit between the moons and the Earth? Oh, that's actually a good question. That's an interesting question. I think that might actually be the case. All the other major planets in the solar system probably fit into that space. The sun doesn't, obviously. I'm only getting about 989 frames per second. That is just the nature of the beast. By the way, when I mean landing, I mean getting as close to the sun as it will let you. Obviously, if you touch the sun, you're going to die either way. Oh, Johnny Lowe. Thanks for the kind words. This is not a brown hoodie, by the way. This is a Hardly Strictly Bluegrass. Strictly Bluegrass is by far the greatest free music festival in the world. I could be wrong on that, but certainly in San Francisco, Hardly Strictly Bluegrass it's supposed to be bluegrass, but then they're like, but you can do whatever you like. And so this is why we regularly have MC Hammer come and play at a bluegrass festival, right? I mean, just get your head around that. It's awesome, and we just embrace this. I don't know, have they upgraded Outer Wilds recently? Because I loved that. I really wanted to go back to it. I thought it was cool. Yeah, Kevin Peck, in my earliest moon landing video, I did a Kerbal version of Nixon's speech. So yes, I have read that speech. The speech will be going until probably my wife comes back. I don't know. I don't know. I like answering questions. Has anybody got a really good question? Could a gas giant Jupiter become a star? So I think I've explained this before. Jupiter is basically a ball of gas, just like the sun. Now, if you imagined adding more hydrogen to Jupiter, what would happen is it would actually heat up, and the pressures would increase, and it would actually kind of not get very much bigger because the pressures would increase. And once you got to about 17 or 18 times the mass of Jupiter, you would then get into the regime where it could start igniting into a brown dwarf. Now, lower mass objects away from a star will actually be very hot because simply the act of dropping gas onto a body like that will actually heat up the star. Jupiter actually gives out more thermal radiation than it takes in because it's in a balance between wanting to collapse under the force of gravity and the pressure keeping it up. And as it cools down, or if it cools down a little, that pressure goes down, so it shrinks a little, and as it shrinks a little, that releases gravitational energy, which warms it up again. So that happens in any gas giant. And once they get big enough, the temperatures in the core gets big enough that they can start to undergo fusion. So those are brown dwarfs. And then you get into red dwarfs. So yeah, if you just keep adding mass to Jupiter, it would eventually turn into a star. But Jupiter, as it is too low. Even if you built like a big nuclear bomb in the middle and you somehow tried to detonate a nuclear weapon to make it hot, the heat would make the pressure drop and eventually it would stop burning. So 2010, if you remember, they turned Jupiter into a star. Obviously, they used crazy space age, alien technology. They didn't use real stuff. They did put a lot of, black monoliths into the atmosphere. So maybe they all kind of went to the middle and started triggering fusion or something. I don't know about Outer Wilds having an overhaul. Somebody just asked me if I'd played it recently, and if it has had an overhaul, I will absolutely have to check it out because I thought that they did a great thing in terms of their imagination and everything, right? We've not got very much screaming going on here. How are we doing? We have this space, we have this here, and we have Sidzi and Jurhat. If some Jupiter, so Jupiter igniting into a star, right? If Jupiter was made to be hot enough so that you could make Europa an ocean world, then it would not have any real effect on the Earth because the temperatures wouldn't have to be that high because Europa is much closer to Jupiter than it is to the Earth, so it wouldn't have any real climate effects, unless of course they had did some trick where they moved the moons out away from I don't know. I don't know what they could do, but I don't think it would generally affect it. Okay. So, time to... Oh, periaps height. I want to get my periaps down. How did I get bald? It just started falling out, and I decided to just cut it all off. And so I keep cutting it off every couple of days. It's natural. Yes, you can defend yourself against radiation if you dig deep enough down. The question is how deep. Okay, I could point out that the year that I went to work at a nuclear power station for a summer job, that was the year that I started losing my hair. But I'm sure it's entirely coincidental because also 2 of my brothers have the same condition, so it just happens. The face in the museum is what looks like a plot point in the new up. I don't know anything about Outer Wilds. I gotta totally look it up. No, Earth is not roughly 8 AU. Earth is about 5.2 AU from Jupiter. Okay, so how are we doing? Periaps height is down to 1,200 kilometers. It would be fabulous to be able to move planets in Kerbal's space program. If we had a rail around the moon and a fusion reactor to drive something around, could we use that to... you could certainly launch things from the moon and shoot them off into interplanetary space. Interstellar is obviously... Yeah, sure, you could build like a mass driver on the surface of the moon and have things shoot off into space. That would totally work. NASA is putting a robot in a volcano. Yes, I've heard that. It's, you know, exactly the kind of thing I want NASA to be doing. If the chart is to be believed... Oh, there! Acapella Carl has gone and found the answer. Apparently, if they take all the diameters of all the planets, they would not fit between the Earth and the Moon. That is not something I've ever thought about, but it's a cool concept, so I'm glad somebody went and looked it up. What is mine? Oh... my favorite interpretation of quantum mechanics. Holy crap. I mean, I'm sorry, I'm really like a... I just do what I did at university, and if somebody proves that the pilot wave theory is in fact the truth, that will be stunning, but somebody's going to come up with some hard evidence for it. Everyone is either static or streaming like a madman, even when nothing goes horrible. Did you drug your Kerbals? Yes, obviously. Do you think religion... Yes, religion has messed with scientific studies in the past. It's just the fact of things. People don't like change. However, religion also promoted scientific study as well. So it just happens. I always like to point out, people get on about the guy that claimed the Earth was 6,000 years old based upon the Bible. That was Archbishop Usher in Armagh about 600-something years ago. His successors founded an observatory to continue to ask the question of how old is the universe. So, they continued this question. They continued asking how old the universe is, and they founded an observatory which did great research. So, it's not all bad. It's not all, everybody works together. Everyone's learned people. So, yeah. How close could 2 planets in a dual planet system be before their orbits destabilized and destroyed each other? They could be within the Roche limit, and that depends upon their densities. What if the Earth orbits a black hole? If the Earth orbits a black hole, then where would it get its sunlight from? That's my question to that. I could do some more orbital mechanics videos. I actually want to do a video about 64-bit, by the way, because obviously it's back again and under discussion because 64-bit Kerbal Space Program is going away again temporarily, at least until we can fix it. But I also wanted to cover, floating point mathematics and single precision versus double precision. But it's very hard to figure out how to present these things in a sane way. And every time I sit down and I start writing and I make mistakes. And I'm like, forget it, I'm not publishing this, Oh, yeah. Oh, you can talk about Vsauce, you can talk about other YouTubers. I'm not like super, I don't like people coming and saying, please watch my channel. It's like, you've just come to say that and nothing else. You're not even going to contribute to the discussion, right? But if people come in and say, oh, Scott did this, look, here's my attempt at it, they totally, you know, that's totally cool. You know, we're all friends here. I don't think that YouTube is a competition. I mean, it is a little bit of a competition, but it's just, you know, everybody should get on, right? You know, be friends. I can't wait for it. Look at Jewel. There it is. Jewel is there. Why does the Oberth effect... The Oberth effect works because of kinetic energy, right? That's what it is. It's all about kinetic energy. So, you guys know the difference between momentum and kinetic energy, right? Momentum is the velocity times the mass of the object. Kinetic energy is half the mass of the object times the velocity squared. Now, people wonder why we have the velocity squared in there. They're like, that doesn't make sense to them. Oh no. But the reason is, right, that energy is defined as force multiplied by distance. So if you apply a certain force over a certain distance, right, if you apply 1 Newton over 1 meter, that object will have 1 joule of energy. So imagine dropping an object, right? If you drop an object, it's having an acceleration of 10 meters per second. So during the first second, it will fall 5 meters and go to 10 meters per second. During the second second, it will fall 15 meters, right? Because at the start, it's moving at 10 meters per second. At the end, it's moving at 20, so the average is 15. So the energy it's picked up is much higher. And that's where your kinetic energy equation comes from, right? Because you're applying force over distance, and as you're applying the force, the velocity is going up. The velocity, the distance you have to cover to increase your velocity goes up higher. So the Oberth effect is the same. If you're moving at 100 meters per second and you accelerate 1 more meter per second, then you're going to get 100 times the energy that you would get if you go from 0 meters per second to 1 meter per second. I think that's roughly right, yeah. So that's how, and it really does comes down to this kinetic energy equation. So if you're sitting still and you apply 1 Newton of force and you move a certain distance, you're going to get a certain amount of energy. But if you're already moving at 100 meters per second and you push it 1 Newton of force again, then you're going to be covering 100 times the distance. So that's why the Oberth effect works. This spacecraft is getting very low now. 400 meters, 400 kilometers. It's here, it says periaps, right? It's 400, don't worry. We're totally cool, you see? How close can we get to the surface is the real question. What's the problem? The engines are still firing, right? The engine's still firing. We don't have not a number anywhere. And we get plenty of fuel left. Seriously, like, I totally know what's going on. I'm paying attention to this, right? Don't worry, I got this. Now's what I forget. This thing is gonna take forever. The engine! Oh my god, look at the engine! Okay, like, that's what you guys are all like, okay? Look at the orbit! Okay, there we go. That's gonna make YouTube get all confused. You can't terraform... So here's the thing. If you want to terraform Venus, you would have to somehow bind up all that carbon dioxide. And even if you had perfect conversion, right, of taking the carbon dioxide and binding it up into, like, biomass, basically, and you had the sun, all the energy of the sun going into this, it would still take 5,000 years. And that's with 100% efficiency, which doesn't happen. To do it for real, it would take 100,000 million years, right, to do this. So if you you know, on a normal human timescale, it's not going to happen. Moreover, in 100,000, a million years, are we really going to be that interested in a planet when we have spaceships and, space colonies, giant rotating cylinders and things like that, right? Venus, like, why would you terraform Venus? You would do it because it's there, right? Because it's a challenge, because it's fun. I'm not sure why you terraform Mars either. I think, maybe you do Mars, but I just don't... The planets don't actually have that much in the way of interesting resources, I guess. When you compare the amount of material, the amount of living space you can create from space colonies is so much greater than the amount of living space you could create by taking over and colonizing a planet. So I'm not really certain that terraforming is really going to be a thing, except perhaps when you travel interstellar and you find a whole bunch of borderline planets, right? Maybe you get something that's really close and it just needs a bit of a push, but if something's really close, it probably already has some sort of life on it. And at that point, I'm not sure the human race has that kind of patience. Especially when I think that to travel interstellar, it's entirely possible that people will just upload their brains to computers because that they will last the trip a little better. Okay, so I'm gonna have to start getting ready to slow down. If Venus has good solar energy potential, you know what has better solar energy potential? Solar panels in space, right? Why put them on a planet when you can put them in space? This whole thing is oscillating. You see this? It is moving quite a lot. I'm going to be throttling down this engine very, very soon. I don't think we should colonize the moon, but I do think that we should have, before we send a crew to Mars, we should have sent a crew to the moon and more or less kept a base on the moon active for 2 years, right? So that we've got experience in this kind of thing. Okay, I'm getting ready to throttle back. I think 50 kilometers. Actually, this is Tylo. I can totally wait until we're a little lower. Let's go 30 kilometers, right? 30 kilometers. And there we go. Throttle down, throttle down, throttle down. Woohoo! Woohoo! Excellent! So there we go. And F5 to save this. Now we're going to have to start preparing our actual descent stage, right? So this is going to be the descent stage. So I guess what we'll do is we'll wait until we're in low orbit. We're going to wait until we get down there, and then I'm going to have to... Actually, no, now I think about it, I'm going to have to, detach before then. The wet noodle is incapable of landing, but the lander is quite capable of landing. The hard part is going to be talking to you guys while I try to land this sucker, right? This is going to be the hard part. Okay, time to periapse is 30 minutes. Okay, so now we got to make sure we have a crew of 2 on this thing. So, crew report. Oh yeah, we should probably collect crew. Science! We haven't done science! It looks like it would be very hard to land here. It also appears one side is more cratered than the other. Well, let's transmit that back, because more science is more better. We probably already have like gravity data and things like that, right? Oh yeah, we should collect one of these things. Collect material science, and we'll transmit it because that's going to be good. The metal is metallic, the wood is wooden, the glass is glassy. If Tylo is going to change any of this, you will have to get closer. Show me the science. Process in the lab module and send that back. I'll do this one as well. Where do we have... Here we go. Is that it? That's a mystery goo container. I don't know. I just like recording voiceover stuff. Oh, I can't... Oh, wait. No operational lab modules. Okay, who's here? I need to put somebody into... Where's my crew? There's Sure Hat is there, right? and I guess we have one crew in that. Oh right, there's two crew in this thing. Okay, this is gonna be... Okay, so there's somebody in there, there's somebody in there. Okay. I'll just come back and do that later, who cares? Okay, so Sidzi, should Sidzi EVA? Wait a second. I'm curious, hold on. Oh, wait a sec. Ah, ha 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 ha. EVA, there you go. He's on there, so he can travel down to the lab. Let's head over to the lab. We need a couple of people in the lab. Let's go over this way, because it's much better to travel on the sunny side of the spaceship. Always fly on the sunny side of the spaceship. Yes. No, I've got enough crew here. I just need to send them over to the lab temporarily so that we can do science. I just thought I had more crew. I have to track down where they are. Sure hat Kerman. It sounds a lot like Shat Kerman. Or Shatner Kerman. Look at that. It's a nice view of Jewel there, isn't it? And grab. This is so slow. I honestly want to get off of this thing so I can actually get my frame rates back. Don't you? I think I might just like... Is there somebody else here that can help me out? Okay, so there's nobody in there. Nobody in there. Anyone in there? Nobody in there. Nobody in there? Okay. Is there any other habitation modules that I've missed? Because I thought I had more than 2 crew in this spacecraft. Did I accidentally leave one in deep space or something? I thought I had more than 2 crew in this spacecraft. Because I have this giant habitation module thingy that I built. Yeah, it appears that I only have the 2. Which is going to be interesting. Well, okay, forget about that. Because I just want to get my frame rates back, okay? So, you can get out. Oh, wait. Oh, now we've got Sure Hat and Jur Hat are in there. Okay, now we can process this. Okay, that's great. Review data. Process. Excellent. Now, I knew I had a crew of 3. Now I'm going to review this and do this. Excellent. Have you heard of a program called Large Address Aware? Yes, no, Chris Frost, that Kerbal Space Program uses that by default. It doesn't actually make any difference. It's built in. Yes, I'm going to transmit it. I'm going to transmit all the data. Send all the data home. There we go. There is Tylo, the big grey sphere. So the problem with silicon-based life, right? Okay, so you have to think, what do you use as an energy cycle, right? Now, on Earth, we have carbon-based life. We breathe in oxygen and we metabolize sugars and we breathe out carbon dioxide. So if you've got silicon-based life, are you going to breathe out silicon dioxide, which is sand? I'm not sure how you I'm not sure of the metabolism cycle. Doesn't mean that it's not impossible. I mean, chemistry is an amazing thing. There's a whole bunch of interesting cycles. The real question is there anything, comparable to carbon-based chemistry that can generate the kind of functionality we need? Okay, we're sending this lab data out. Looks like the moon. Okay, we got a crew report there. Not enough crew. And we've got 1 crew in this. Okay, we got a crew here. Yes, we've got crew here. Why have we got stored data? EVA report. Oh, you should totally transmit that. And I should collect that. I should collect my EVA data. Oh, wait a second. I've got sound coming back. I'm listening to this thing. Your breathing would be poop. What's the biggest ship? I think this is probably the biggest ship that I've done without going into extreme B9. Okay, I'm going to transmit this. Transmit it. And then I need to clean all these experiments. Clean the experiments. So what I need to do is make sure that this spacecraft is equipped for a full thing. So just got to see where all this stuff is. We have all our experiments. We're going to clear these things off. I need to find... is that... I just want to see. That's mystery goo. Containment unit. That's mystery goo. I'm guessing inside here we have like... food and everything. Aha! Look, there's the reactor. Oh, so this is a minor problem because I can't see how much fuel and everything I have on this spacecraft. Oh, good, we have life support in here, so we have 73 days worth of food on this thing. That should be more than enough. Next, I'm wondering, do I have RCS thrusters on this? Yes, I have RCS thrusters on this. So presumably I have RCS tanks somewhere on it. How am I doing for monopropellant? Monopropellant is here. Okay, we're doing fine on monoprop. Okay. The chat mods, it doesn't really work on YouTube, right? Okay, we're gonna undock here. Time to say farewell. We're getting out of here and firing up the RCS and reversing off. There we go. Moving away. Look at this. We got our RCS firing. This is going to take a really, really long time. You know what's going to be awful? Is going to be docking this thing, right? So I should probably set this as target just to find out how fast I'm moving. I need to get outside 2 kilometers, right? This is the thing. I want to get away from this, but I need to go faster. And the problem is I can't fire this main engine because if I fire it, it will kill me. It'll kill the people in the other spacecraft. I don't like the Twitch chat, it just became impossible to moderate, and frankly I don't have the time for that. Whereas this one, at least I can, I don't care if people are saying stuff, whatever. Twitch is just full of people that are not very helpful. Okay, so now a good question. Do I have that? There we go. Deploy my heat sinks. And do I have enough megajoules? I do. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is just fire up time acceleration. That should move me away from this quickly. But I wonder, I think I'm going to pass through periaps before I move beyond range of this thing. 23 minutes to periaps. Does YouTube... Yeah, what do you mean YouTube still does this? Go whatever. I'm just gonna wait for this to come out. Yes, FPS will increase because we're not doing physics. That's the thing. But what I'm worried is that I'm gonna pass beyond my periaps burn position. Okay, I need to do more thrusting. More thrusting. And then the other thing I need to do is fire up my... I need to fire up my my antimatter reactor. I need to figure out what controls do that. And just check, how much antimatter do I have? Antimatter! We aren't using any of it right now. That's a good sign. Still moving away from this thing. I need to move a little faster. The heat sinks are needed because I have an antimatter reactor on this thing and I want to make sure it doesn't overheat. That's really what it does. Okay, so where is my monopropellant? Okay, I guess I'm going to use about 20 units of monopropellant here just to make sure I move beyond it. Oh, there, I can see where all my stuff is. I do have a bunch of different build videos which shows the interplanetary ship getting constructed. But I don't remember exactly. Yes, yes, whatever. You guys are terrible. Yes, you guys see this and you see nipples, right? Guys are a little sheltered, let's say. Food and everything. How many viewers? Oh, it's only 335. That's not a huge number. It just happens. Honestly, it's kind of late on a Sunday, a Friday. Yeah, Friday. Oh man. And people are waking up and things like that. People are catching on. It's just what's going to happen. Okay, time to periapse. It's 13 minutes. I gotta get beyond this magic distance. I'm gonna try and land. I'm gonna try and land on Tylo, and perhaps we can, do some. Perhaps when we're there, we can do some bird watching. There's maybe some rare birds, such as blue tits or space tits, right? There, see, ha, 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 you see? It's a bird. It's a bird, not whatever else you guys are thinking, you crazy people. Okay, are we far enough away from this yet? 10 times regular speed. 50. Okay, we're definitely at pass through periapse. 4, 1.5, 6, 7, 8. And here's the thing, I bet you when I fire my engine I'm going to go the wrong way. Okay, actually, so now we're going to pass through periapse, and that's when we're going to want to fire my engine and slow this thing down. 5, 4, so look, my frame rate is suddenly gone crazy. Okay, so we are ready to go. Slow this thing down. Okay, so now, we don't need RCS actually, we need this. We're going to need to start performing a burn. Let's bring the gear out. Landing gear is ready. Okay, this is where I'm going to hit save because man, this is going to be harsh. Okay, is this activate engine? Okay, and we need power in here, and then this is now where we're really ready for the thing. We have the reactor. Okay, tech. Oh, there. I think that's my fusion my antimatter reactor. There we go, antimatter reactor. Oh, I could retrofit it. Sure, let's retrofit it with science. I have no idea what that's going to do, but this is. Oh, this is totally working now. Let's fire up my engine. Right, ready. Oh yes. Now you should probably see what my vessel's thing. It says delta V is 47 kilometers per second. Right. So I have plenty of delta V here. So I need surface and orbit. And I don't need vessel. Periapse height is dropping very quickly. Okay, you know what? I should probably come back to this. And this is where it's going to be practically impossible to keep track of you guys, so you're just going to be like a bunch of unsupervised children. Okay, there we go. We're starting to come down towards the surface. And I want to make sure I'm landing on the light side. Excellent. Okay, we are doing that. And of course, I'm following completely the wrong approach because I want to make sure I don't run out of power. That's going to be important here. So I've got to watch my antimatter limit. Okay, so I can power down and my antimatter will stop burning, which is good. Whew. My favorite mod has almost all is Ferrum Aerospace because I really quite enjoy learning about aerodynamics. Okay, timed impact time 1 minute 11 seconds. So I need to start firing my engines to slow my descent. So what I'm going to do is this. That will hopefully slow my descent and start moving me laterally. I'm not gonna crash. No, no. I'm accelerating at about 2 Gs here. This is Sidney Kerman. I guess I could have took a friend, but we're just gonna bring the two of them. Okay, so that's us doing a little better. Okay, 27. So my vertical speed is 200 meters per second. And we're going to fall very, very quickly. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to edit this conversation afterwards, right? And in fact, you know, people that say funny things will get rewarded. Oh, you know, I could collect science and stuff on the way down, right? Oh, not enough crew. I bet we get a crew report from Low over Kerbin. Crew report. Not Kerbin, Tylo. Keep data. And then atmospheric package, not unuseful. Log. Keep. And then log this. Observe materials bay. And observe that. Observe mystery goo. Keep. And now start firing those engines again. So, again, we're trying to keep our vertical speed from getting too high here, right? I should probably bring my vertical speed down to about 100 meters per second. Right, and keep it there. No, I have to cut my hair to keep it this glorious efficiency. It's an efficient hairstyle because it means that I don't have to spend much time cutting it. I have my own, you know, clippers, and that's very fast. Man, this is awesome. Antimatter is going to last forever. Like, I'm going to have so much delta V on this thing, I can totally just procrastinate my way down. Okay, here we go. It says 59 seconds to impact, but that's not exactly what's happening. So, there we go. So I'm just going to adjust my throttle to keep my vertical speed roughly at 100 meters per second. How much chance is there radiation actually makes it into the Earth? You know, guess what? You're living on a planet. You're surrounded by radiation, right? You have potassium in your body, and you give off radiation. You are more radioactive than the atmosphere surrounding you. It's a highly efficient hairstyle. It's also very aerodynamic, I'm sure. Okay, now we're starting to come down. Altitude above the terrain is 11 kilometers. Moving 94 meters per second. Long hair could also be efficient, except that you then need to spend a lot of time washing it, right? I mean, if you're one of these people that literally do not wash your hair, then sure, you could consider that an efficient hairstyle. However, you will also smell. And so you will be a smelly, efficient person. I, on the other hand, am a hat-wearing person because I don't like to get sunburn on my head. Oh, that's funny. There's people that have previously been blocked because of their behavior in the past. Okay, so now we're moving at 1,000 meters per second. You're not more radioactive than bananas, because bananas have a higher potassium than your body. Okay, see, now we're slowing down. I need to throttle this up a little more. So I'm just trying to keep my balance now. What I'm also watching is my liquid fuel. Oh, man, I get tons of that as well. Okay, so now we're at 8 kilometers. Yeah, no, it would be awful. Sunburn my head would be horrific. I do not want it. Please, no more. One thing I'm kind of disappointed with in the Interstellar series is I never really had much chance to use rovers. I really like building the giant rover that I sent to Eve, because I don't know, I just like the Eve or bust thing with the giant rover. The giant rolling command center was awesome. Okay, now we're getting down low, so I'm going to throttle this up even more, because I want to make sure that my vertical speed maintains. This is me doing a kind of sort of an Apollo kind of approach here, but not really. I'm so glad that I got my frame rate back, because this would be so horrible at like 4 frames per second, right? Now we're going down at 66 meters per second. Yeah, Jacksepticeye, it's interesting that he like totally took off. I don't know, I want to figure out how to do that, but I'm quite happy with my slow kind of continuous casual growth. You know, I'm not like... I actually prefer to like be playing less games, doing more science, because I think that really is something that I do well. And there's only so much science you can talk about when you're playing video games. Okay, getting closer. I'm not gonna go play. What do you... Ah, man. Okay, so we're still about 100 seconds to landing here. I love how my antimatter reactor is barely using any power at all. This thing is awesome. You know, real antimatter reactors, they can't ever be 100... Although they convert 100% of their fuel into energy, you can't ever harness 100% because a lot of that energy comes out as neutrinos. And you cannot have the reaction without neutrinos, like, shooting off to infinity. So, yeah, it's just the nature of the beast. Okay, 38 meters per second downwards. So I'm still slowing myself down. Czech Republic. I like talking about science, but the problem is sometimes I have to the science just isn't there. Like, it's very hard to talk science when you're playing Freelancer. You know, because so much of it is just made up stuff. I mean, it's fun and all that, but yeah. Okay, now I'm gonna put my spacecraft nose up a little. Okay, there we go. I'm landing on Tylo. This is not a planet, it's a moon. There we go. So now I've got to continue slowing down. We're about 1.5 kilometers up, and I'm gonna slow my descent. We're now gonna come down here. We have picked a location, mostly because this is what we've got. This is where we are. And now I'm gonna throttle up. Oh, throttle up just a bit. This is where it gets hard because Tylo, because the gravity is so high, the engines obviously are gonna induce a lot of side slip here. So here we go. Now I just need to kind of control for my descent speed. And that is surprisingly hard to do. Okay, we're about a kilometer up. Man, I gotta let this go down a little faster. I slowed down too early. Yes, Tylo is one of the hardest places to land, simply because the gravity is so ridiculously high. I remember doing it with, you know, proper chemical rockets, and it was just hard. Okay, what is the name of the vessel? We haven't come up with a name for it. We'll call it the... I don't know what we're gonna call it. Have we got a shadow yet? That's another good thing, because the shadow is... There it is, there's my shadow. I am the groundhog, sort of, right? That's the thing, right? If the groundhog sees the shadow, then, okay, now I need to throttle up a little, so my speed slows down. And if necessary, I can always bring the throttle up a lot faster. Okay, I'm gonna bring up my throttle just a bit more, because I can't afford to land at 20 meters per second. Okay, now I need to bring that up more. There, that's more like it. This is... having antimatter powered fusion engines, like, just gives you so much margin for error here. It's just literally about the flying. You're not worried about running out of fuel or anything. There we go. 180... Wait, it says 180 meters up? Really? That does not look like 180 meters to me. This spacecraft must be huge. I guess it is pretty big. It's like deceptive because the spacecraft is actually pretty big, but I wanted to make something that could land on any planet or any moon. Technically, I could probably bring this into the atmosphere of Joule. The hard part with atmospheric landings is that what happens is the heat radiators will get torn off. Okay. By the atmosphere, so you need to kind of make sure that you descend very carefully and then stow them at just the right moment. Okay, 4.4 meters per second. Okay, now I'm going to throttle up once again. just try to make sure that I land slowly enough. We have no one to help me this time. I could probably take a look at the interior here, huh? Okay, no, I don't have a nav ball. Yeah, this is what happens. Oh, yes. Not good, not good. Okay. Almost losing things there because I looked in the cockpit and could not see the suddenly lost sight of the nav ball. And slow down, slow down, slow down, slow down, slow down, slow down. Okay. Stay still. Yes, okay. That's pretty good. Pretty good, we got down. So that's now only 2 more places to go in the Interstellar quest, and I just need to type in my password here. Ah, yes! Science! Now we can do all our science here, right? You know, what I should do, though, actually, is the antimatter reactor is temporarily powered off. That's all powered off. I can do... Oh, crew report. Wait a second, can I review this? Can I transmit it? Do I have a transmitter? Yes, I do have a transmitter, so I can... That's good, because that could be a problem. The gravity is quite heavy and reminds you of home. Okay, now let's get this out. Extend the ladder. Who needs football for an exciting touchdown? Yes, and then we gotta have another one here. This is all good. Oh, we should turn on the lights, right? There. Oh, pardon me. Pardon me. Collect some mystery goo. Mystery goo. The goo resembles a green pancake. No doubt on account of its high gravity and all that. What does the materials bay tell me about this? The goo looks very similar to a peanut butter when you realise this isn't a goo canister and someone got peanut butter all over your materials. Oh my god, what? We're almost up to... How am I up to 1,000? That's... how am I up to 899? Are you kidding me? This. Then you realise it isn't a goo canister, but someone got peanut butter. Yes. Oh no, we're not going to transmit it. We're going to keep that data. Okay, can we log data here? Log. Periodic quakes roll through the moon, indicating the presence of massive cave networks. Sweet! Except that the cave is actually buried apparently under the terrain. I'm kind of worried about this. This is like shivering a whole lot. Confirmed, you will not be getting home easy. Okay, and log temperature. It reads cold until you realise that all of the liquid in the thermometer has just pooled in the bottom. My job in real life is I write software for Apple. If you use a Mac or you use iOS, you're using bits of my software. Right? Okay. Now it is time for me to step out. Take a look around the surface. Oh! Okay. That could have been close. He missed the ladder! There we go. Woohoo! Yes! Gets to land and flat. I don't know what Project A119. I have no idea what that is. Is that the one to do with to launch the space probe or small orbital satellite from an old fighter? Okay, EVA report. Is it me or did my spacesuit just get heavy? Plant the flag. Well, the secret to non-explosive touchdown is to land as carefully as possible. I'm not a fanboy. I am the creator. I am a creator. Okay, so what did we say? Good old antimatter. Okay. Makes it easy to land on Dilo. Good thing, because I want to return. So mission accomplished, and I've got to take surface sample. You quickly scoop up some white dust. You ran out of condiments 3 months ago. I have Android devices. Actually, you know, in a previous job, I developed one of the very first Android apps for like the original HTC phone. You know, but yeah, you know, I just ended up at a company that then ended up at Apple. So I'm doing Apple stuff now, and I'm having plenty of fun doing it. Okay, let's try and get inside. And excellent. So I'm going to store my science, store experiments. I don't like the way this thing is shaking. Now I'm going to do an EVA report. You swear you just found Tylo's missing atmosphere. It's just too bad it floated away before you could grab it. Okay. Whew. So. Okay, so we've got that. And the only other thing I think we could collect... Oh, you know what I don't have is I don't have the ability to collect seismic. I don't have like a thing to collect impact data from here. Not that I really need it, do I? Yeah. I guess I could get out and walk. What should I do now? What do you mean, do I hate? I love Apple. I work there. They make awesome stuff. They make the best laptops. I'm sorry. Like, people are always down on Apple hardware, but you know, you got to realize that when you build a custom piece of hardware, it's you know, you're building custom parts. If you want to build a box and put your own graphics card in, great. It's going to be less than an Apple. But if you want to have a laptop which weighs 2 kilos and has a 1440p resolution screen, then you're not going to find anything cheaper, right? It's awesome, right? Okay, so what else is going on around here? I should probably just take a look in I'm going to leave him in the surface for a little while. Let's go to the space center. Okay, I'm not going to do a flip for science. And you know, the phones, I love the phones. The phones are super good and solid and, you know, wow, yes, Apple 6, you know. Let's just take a look and see what is going on here. Okay, and it's taking a really long time. Okay. Let me just see. Is there anything? I think really I should just return and then I could just land the Paul lander and the Elu lander, and then that's me. 60 days and 225 days. Jebediah is sitting with his feet up. Right? He is relaxing. OS2. Now there was a great idea, huh? Okay. Yes, this is called the DT lander. Well, if it's not Mac supported, then I'm not going to play it, am I? Okay. Anyway. Okay. Once again, you know what? I think I want to kind of chill out for a little while and do something else, right? This is taking a very long time, isn't it? Anyway, sorry, got stuff going on. This is taking a really long time. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna play something else for a little while, because I think I've had enough. I want to go back and like chill out, do something else. The question is what, right? I'm gonna go back to the space center. Cookie clicker. No, I'm drinking tea. What I'm looking for. Anything here I should look at? How many games do I own now? 939. Yeah. Actually, I think maybe it's time for me to bring this thing to a close. Mega Man, War Thunder, Crusader Kings 2. Yes, that's a fun one. Stanley Parable. Oh, the Stanley Parable. That's a bunch of fun. Solar Flux. Secret of the Magic Crystal. I think Sky installed that. Secret of the Magic Crystal is basically My Little Pony, the game. Psychonauts, Proteus, Portal, Plague Inc. There's a bunch of these games I have, but I haven't actually had a chance to play as well. I buy a lot of things in bundles. Mass Effect, yes. I tried to get Orion to play that for fun. Last Federation, Kinetic Void, Jamestown. Oh, I love Jamestown. Oh, Infinifactory! No, that's terrible. That's so hard to do. That one Mars game? Yes. Gimbal, haven't played that in a long. Oh, you know what? I haven't cooked up my Starflight, my StarMade thing. Oh yes, Fairy Solitaire. I can't. Unfortunately, I'm not allowed to play that. Enemy Starfighter. Sorry, not allowed to play that in public because it could be terrible. No, it's actually awesome, but there might be bugs, and the guy really doesn't want to show it off just yet. There's Crusader Kings. Let's bring this up for a little while. Not freaking bunnies. Burn them. Antechamber would be so perfect. Maybe. Okay, you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to close this. And then what I need to do... I don't have all of Steam. The reason is I'm trying to stream at exactly the same time. And if you stream at the same time, then it will frequently cause the game to play terribly, right? You're kidding, 950? Why are there 950 people watching this? There must be something strange. Artificial Academy. Okay, now Crusader Kings is not responding. Should I let it run or what? I might do a multiplayer live stream one of these days. Maybe I should play something else while this thing tries to load. That just seems frustrating that it's not actually loading. Yes! Crusader Kings just choosing not to work. Cannot find window. Oh, you know what I gotta do here? Settings, window capture. We've got a problem here. We have a bit of a problem. Hold on. Scene, window capture, properties. It is tracking that. Okay, not sure what's going on, but Crusader Kings appears to have died. It just does this a lot. Okay, and I do have Elite Dangerous sitting here, but I don't think it just doesn't work very well. Like the network gets confused. I have EVE Online sitting here as well, but that's hard to do because it's all OPSEC and everything. Okay, you know what? I'll try playing Elite right there. How about that? I'll do it. Okay. The only problem is it's gonna come up in full screen. Hold on. Let's see if I can do this. Okay, this is gonna be kind of hard. Bring this up into this location, and then I won't have track IR. Okay, this is gonna be very hard. Because I have to have my microphone, and I need to make space for everything here. Okay. Okay, and then set up this. Properties. Elite Dangerous. Refresh. No, Elite Dangerous? Apparently it's confused. Ah, there we go. Hey, excellent. Let's actually... I'm just going to do some stupid stuff, right? Pardon me. Is the new Xenonauts better than XCOM? I just like the fact that the Xenonauts... Okay, this is actually a big problem because I can't figure out a place to put my microphone that will let me... I think I'm just going to look at some stuff here. Oh, you know what I should do is play Alien Isolation, because actually I like that. I'm going to try something really stupid, right? Which I haven't got here, right? Docking, launch, travel. Yeah, this is something I want to do here. Right. I want to try flying around inside the space station. I did physics and astronomy, right? Okay, so hopefully this thing is correctly set up. And you know what? I might need to adjust my pop shield because it's like right where my joystick normally goes. Okay, let's see if this works. Alien, yeah, I know. I think I might actually fire up Alien Isolation. Yeah, you see, now I'm turning away from Kerbal. People are leaving. Okay. So what I want to do something different, right? So we've got this here. And we have this beautiful space station. Who cares about that? I don't care. I don't care about requesting docking. I want to get a closer look at the space station. So I'm going to try something something that I think might be possible, but okay. Now this is where I need to start thinking about what I'm doing. Okay. See those gaps in there? I think I can try and get in them, right? So this is where I have to very carefully... Okay, oh, this is very hard. So what I'm aiming for is that gap, right? So I'm going to try and fly around the space station here. Wait a second, hold on. Why is this? I just want to check that I'm looking at the right thing. Alright, hold on. Just fly backwards away from the space station. Okay. Ooh, there's a nice spot in there. Okay, no, that's definitely the thing that I'm looking at. Okay. So the space station is rotating on that axis, and I think I can fly into those spots there. This is my plan here, right? New Zealand or riot? What? What are you talking about? So I want to get inside this space station bit just for fun. Okay, engines online. Here we go. So now I'm gonna get up inside. Yeah, look at this. Taking a look inside the space station here. We get all these warnings about like being inside things or whatever. Okay. So now... Oh. I'm gonna try and figure out if I can fly in front of this thing. So this is gonna be the hard part, right? Going a little faster than the station. This is where it would be very helpful to have like my track IR running, so I can actually take a look around take a look over on my right side here. This is like, yeah, high encoding. This is, it might actually cause lag. YouTube crashed. Okay. I think it just can't handle Elite at the same time. Okay, now what I should be able to do is just... no. What's the button? This one? Nice! Okay, so I'm wondering, this is warning me. I don't think I can actually manage to encode Elite at the same time. I think it needs a whole, yeah, I think I gotta stop this. I'm gonna calm this down. Pardon me. Time to say farewell. Thanks for everyone that's here. So this isn't going to work simply because I have CPU issues or whatever. So I think I'm going to quit. It's like 1 AM and I have stuff to do. So bye. Farewell, fly safe, okie dokie. Needs. I think I might get a dedicated external encoding box. But yeah. No, wait, listen, no, I'm not going to use Twitch in the future simply because nobody knows me on Twitch. When I stream on Twitch, I have like 2 people, you know? New Zealand! Bye-bye, farewell. I'll take a look at Besieged. I really want to look at Besieged. Bye.